Book of Leviticus chapter 1. The Lord called Moses from the tent of meeting and commanded him, "You must say to the people of Israel, if any among you is offering sacrifices to the Lord, then you must bring bulls or lambs to sacrificial animals. If he offers one from the cattle as burnt offering, then it must be without blemish. He must offer it at the door of the tent of meeting. He must place his hand over the animal for burnt offering. Hence it will be counted worthy unto him a blessing. He must slay a calf in the presence of God. The sons of Aaron who are the priests must bring in its blood and sprinkle it around the altar of burnt offering near the door of the tent of meeting. He must skin the sacrificial animal and cut it into pieces. The sons of Aaron who are the priests must put fire into the altar and arrange firewood on its top. Then the sons of Aaron who are the priests must set in order the pieces, head, and fat over the firewood on top of the fire. He must wash its intestine and leg in water. The priest must burn upon the altar all things as burnt offering. This is unto the Lord a fragrant incense of burnt offering. If his sacrifice for the burnt offering is a goat or a sheep from the fold, a male without blemish is to be offered. He must slay it in the presence of God on the north side of the altar. The sons of Aaron who are the priests must sprinkle it over the altar round about. He must cut it into pieces along with the head and the fat. Priest must set it over the firewood upon the altar on top of the fire. He must wash with water the legs and the intestine. The priest must bring in everything and burn it as burnt offering to be a fragrant incense by fire to the Lord. If his sacrifice for the Lord is one from among the race of birds as burnt offering, he must offer turtle dove or young pigeon as votive offering. The priest must bring it to the altar of burnt offering, twist and sever its head, and burn it upon the altar. Its blood must be squeezed off on the walls of the altar round about it. Its crop must be torn away along with its feces and cast into the place of laying ashes on the east side near the altar. It must be split along with the wings without separating into two. Priest must burn it in the fire over the firewood upon the altar. It is a burnt sacrifice of fragrant incense by fire to the Lord. Chapter 2. If anyone offers cereal offering, his offering must be fine flour. He must pour in it oil and put frankincense in it. It must be brought to the priest who is the son of Aaron. He must take as a whole flour, oil, and a handful of frankincense. The priest must burn it as holy offering incense upon the altar. It is the offering of incense by fire. But the leftover from the cereal offering is for Aaron and his sons. Of the offerings to the Lord, this is most holy. If you bring as cereal offering that which has been baked over heat, it must be of fine flour mixed with oil as unleavened bread or oil-smeared unleavened wafers. If it is a cereal offering baked in your offering vessel, it must be made with unleavened fine flour into which oil is added. It must be cut into pieces and oil poured in it. If it's a cereal offering that has been made in an offering griddle, it must be made of fine flour mixed with oil. You must offer the cereal offering that has been made of these to the Lord. It must be brought to the priest, and he must bring it near to the altar. The priest must take the memorial portion of the cereal offering and burn it as fragrant incense of burnt offering by fire on the altar. The leftover from the cereal offering is for Aaron and his sons. Of the burnt offerings, it is most holy for the Lord. None of the cereal offerings that you offer to the Lord must be leavened. Neither shall you offer as burnt offering to the Lord leavened flour or honey. It can be offered as the offerings of firstfruits to the Lord. Yet it must not be offered as fragrant incense. Upon the altar, you must season your cereal offering with salt. In the law of your Lord, salt must not be lacking in your cereal offering. For all offerings in the presence, it must be seasoned with salt. If you offer cereal offering of your firstfruits, you must offer the grains dropped off the new ears parched with fire as the cereal offering of the firstfruits. Upon it must be added oil and frankincense. It is a cereal offering. Some from the detached grains, and a little of oil, and the whole of the frankincense must the priest burn as memorial. It is unto the Lord, offering by fire. Chapter 3. If the offering of a person is a peace sacrifice, and if he offers a sacrifice from the cattle, male or female, he must offer that which is without blemish in the presence of the Lord. He must place his hand on the offering and slaughter it at the door of the tent of meeting. The sons of Aaron who are the priests must sprinkle the blood upon the altar round about. From the peace offering the fat that covers the intestine, the entire fat over the intestine, the 2 kidneys, and along with it the fat on the kidneys at the loins. The appendage of the liver along with the kidneys must be removed, and you must offer to the Lord as burnt offering. The sons of Aaron must burn it on the fire wood over the fire in the burnt offering. It is for the Lord fragrant incense by fire. If the offering is a peace offering to the Lord, male or female, one without blemish must be offered. If a lamb is offered to the Lord, it must be brought into the presence of the Lord. He must place his hand over his offering and slay it before the tent of meeting. The sons of Aaron must sprinkle the blood over and round about the altar. He must offer as burnt offering to the Lord from the peace offering the fat and the fat tail that has been tore apart from the spine, fat covering the intestine, the entire fat over the intestine, the 2 kidneys, and along with it the fat on the kidneys at the loins. The appendage of the liver along with the kidneys must be removed and offered to the Lord as burnt offering. Priest must burn it in the altar. If his offering is a goat, he must bring it into the presence of God. He must place his hand over its head and slay it before the tent of meeting. The sons of Aaron must sprinkle its blood upon the altar round about. From it the fat that covers the intestine, the entire fat over the intestine, the 2 kidneys, and along with it the fat on the kidneys at the loins. The appendage of the liver along with the kidneys must be removed and offered as burnt offering to the Lord his offering. Priest must burn it on the altar. This is a cereal offering of fragrant incense by fire. The entire fat is for the Lord. You must not eat fat, and blood must be for you a perpetual law in your every place of dwelling for generations over generations. Chapter 4. The Lord spoke to Moses. You must tell the people of Israel, if anyone by sin has broken a command of the Lord and has done anything which the Lord has forbidden, if the anointed priest has committed a sin such that the people may be condemned, he must offer to the Lord in reparation of his sin a young bull without blemish as sin offering. He must bring that bull to the door of the tent of meeting in the presence of the Lord, and lay his hand on the head of the bull, and slay it in the presence of the Lord. An anointed priest must take some blood of the bull, and bring it to the door of the tent of meeting. The priest must dip his fingers in the blood, and sprinkle it 7 times in the presence of the Lord before the veil of the holy temple. Priest must smear some blood on the horns of the altar of fragrant incense inside the tent of meeting. The remaining blood he must pour at the bottom of the altar of burnt offering at the door of the tent of meeting. The entire fat of the bull for sin offering, the fat that covers the intestine, and the entire fat over the intestine must be removed from. Chapter 4. The Lord spoke to Moses. You may tell the people of Israel, if it so happen that anyone has broken a command of the Lord and has done anything which the Lord has forbidden, if the anointed priest has committed a sin as a consequence of which the people might be condemned, he must offer to the Lord as sin offering a young bull without blemish owing to the sin he has committed. He must bring that bull to the door of the tent of meeting in the presence of the Lord, and lay his hand on the head of the bull, and slay it in the presence of the Lord. An anointed priest must take some blood of the bull, and bring it to the door of the tent of meeting. The priest must dip his fingers in the blood and sprinkle it 7 times in the presence of the Lord before the veil of the holy temple. Priest must smear some blood on the horns of the altar of fragrant incense inside the tent of meeting. The remaining blood of the bull he must pour at the bottom of the altar at the door of the tent of meeting. The entire fat of the bull for sin offering, the fat that covers the intestine, and the entire fat over the intestine must be removed from it. The 2 kidneys, and the fat over it at the loins, the appendage of the liver along with the 2 kidneys he must take, as he has taken from the bull for the peace offering. The priest must burn it on the altar of burnt offering. The skin of the bull, whole of its flesh, head, legs, intestine, and its dung being the bull as a whole, he must take it to a clean place outside the camp where the ash is dumped, and burn it by fire over the arranged firewood. It must be burned verily at the place where the ash is put. If the whole of the Israel breaks the law and the congregation remains unaware of that matter and have not done any but one of the laws owing to which they have become guilty when they become aware of their sin, congregation must offer a young bull as sin offering. It must be brought before the tent of meeting. The leaders of the congregation must lay hands on the head of the bull in the presence of the Lord and slay the bull in the presence of the Lord. The anointed priest must bring some of the blood of the bull to the door of the tent of meeting. priest must dip fingers in the blood and sprinkle the blood 7 times before the veil in the presence of the Lord. He must smear some blood on the horns of the altar of the presence of the Lord in the tent of meeting. The blood that remains must be poured at the bottom of the altar at the door of the tent of meeting. He must take all of the fat from it and burn it upon the altar. As he has done with the bull for sin offering, so also he must do with this bull. Likewise must be done with also this. Thus the priest must offer reparation for them. Then it will be forgiven them. Then he must take the bull outside the camp, and as he has done before, so he must burn this bull too. This is the sin offering for the congregation. If a leader commits a sin and breaks any of the laws his Lord has commanded him to become guilty, and when he realizes the sin he has committed, he must bring a male goat without blemish as offering. He must lay hand on the goat and slay it in the presence of the Lord at the place where the animal for burnt offering is slain. It's a sin offering. Then the priest must take some blood for the sin offering with finger and smear it on the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and the blood that remains must be poured off at the bottom of the altar. His entire fat, so he must burn at the altar of burnt offering as the fat of the peace offering. Hence the priest perform reparation for him owing to his sins. Then it will be forgiven him. If any one of the land has committed an offense unwittingly in any of the laws that the Lord has commanded and has become condemned, when he realizes the sin, he must bring a female goat without blemish as offering because of the sin he has committed. He must lay his hand over the animal of sin offering and slay the sin offering animal at the place where burnt offering is slain. The priest must take some of its blood with his fingers and sprinkle on the horns of the altar of burnt offering. The blood that remains he must pour at the bottom of the altar. He must take its fat as the fat that has been taken from the peace offering, and the priest must burn it as fragrant incense for the Lord upon the altar. Thus the priest must offer reparation for him. Then it will be forgiven him. If he brings a lamb as sin offering, he must bring in a ewe lamb without blemish. He must lay his hand over the animal of sin offering. He must slay it as sin offering in the place where the animal for burnt offering is slayed. The priest must take some blood of the sin offering and sprinkle it on the horns of the altar of burnt offering and pour the blood at the bottom of the altar. He must take its fat like fat taken from the lamb for peace offering. The priest must burn it upon the altar as offerings by fire for the Lord. Thus the priest must offer reparation for the sins he has committed. Then it will be forgiven him. Chapter 5. If anyone hears the pledge and does not give testimony for that which he has seen or known and hence commit a sin, then he is put to blame for his iniquity. If anyone touches the carcass of an unclean wild animal, or the carcass of an unclean native animal, or the carcass of a swarming animal, or any such as these, and if he has forgotten about it, he remains unclean and condemned. Or else, if anyone touches the uncleanness of another person who has become unclean by some sort of uncleanness and he forgets it, then he becomes guilty when he comes to know about it. Or like someone who swears inadvertently. If a man swears without perceiving with his mouth unto good or bad, and he forgets it, then when he realizes it, he will be put to blame on such things. When he does sin in things such as these, he should confess that he has sinned. He must bring in a female lamb or ewe owing to the sin he has committed unto the Lord as guilt offering. The priest must give him absolution from his sins. If he cannot afford a lamb, he must bring in 2 young pigeons or 2 turtle doves to the priest for the Lord, one as sin offering, and the other as burnt offering owing to the sin he has committed. He must offer the one for sin offering prior, and twist and break apart the head from the neck, but he must not split it into 2. He must sprinkle the blood of sin offering on the walls of the altar. The blood that remains he must squeeze away at the bottom of the altar. This is a sin offering. The second he must offer according to law as burnt offering. In this way the priest must provide him absolution from his iniquity which he has committed.
All glory be to the Holy Trinity, one God!
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen.